Josh is on the wrong side of the table. Yeah?
Yep. I wanted to do something that would test both me mentally and physically. I thought to myself, if I'm going to be doing this, what can I be doing for others? That's just...
Well, that's who you are. Yeah.
So a miner's promise holds a place in my heart, and obviously so does Mission Australia. Jumped online and booked a flight to Nepal, a return flight to Nepal. And so I've got 4 weeks, 24th of September. I fly out to base camp. So the trek obviously starts in Lukla. My plan is $1,000 at the start once I get to Lukla, into the fundraiser. Then we get up to $5,000 for each tea house that I make it to. So I hope that other businesses might get in behind it and show people in the industry that tough times. Every single cent, so no one's getting a cent out of it but you guys. I'm going to split it right down the middle for Mission Australia and for A Miner's Promise.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible. Thank you.
Welcome back to the Gold Room. My name's Deb Morrow from Miner's Promise, and we have a very special edition for you today because Josh is on the wrong side of the table.
Or the right side.
Or the right side. And Josh is not very comfortable about this, so we're going to make it as easy as we can for him.
Thanks, Deb.
Josh, thank you for having us here. I'll hand over to Elise to introduce yourself before we get started as well.
Thank you, Deb. I'm Elise Jorgensen and I work for Mission Australia and really pleased to be here today.
Thank you, ladies. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having us. So, Josh, I've known you for a little while now, so I'm going to run through a few questions because you always invite us to tell our stories to your audience, and today we're going to ask you to do the same. So, a little bit, I'm going to start really simply, where you're from, your background, and how you would describe your childhood to your audience.
Oh, shoot. So, from Hamilton, New Zealand. I, great childhood. Grew up in a loving family, sickly child, numerous trips to hospital, asthma and intensive care, high dependency unit. A great primary school, high school, ran a couple of little businesses when I was younger in New Zealand and made my way to, 28 years old, made my way to the great city of Kalgoorlie, Boulder. Did 5.5 years there and then moved to Perth into 2018. Electrician by trade and just love a bit of hard work, but my passion is other people's stories. And look, as I said, I love business, but finding out about what makes other people tick is certainly something I'm passionate about.
So you run a few businesses and this year you kicked off the Gold Room. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what inspired you to start the Gold Room?
So last year I had sort out a media company and they did a bloody great job for CTL. And
that's one of your businesses, CTL?
Yeah, mining. I'll give it a little plug.
Please do.
Mining and industrial supplier. So it was expensive. It cost for 3 minutes of produced content was $8,000.
Wow.
It's expensive for businesses. And, businesses are out there working hard, they're looking at their P&L sheets and looking at, how they can increase their income and reduce their expenses. So I thought, I'm going to have to bloody do something about that to support not just my business, but other businesses. So I had a house in Kalgoorlie and I sold it. And sold a separate block of land and invested with no ROI in the thought process of building this studio and next door studio and upgrading the kitchen and then spending $45,000+ on some camera and camera equipment, media equipment and building this, So myself, Troy Antmeyer, good friend of mine, Gary Kennedy, another great man. We just worked for a good couple of weekends putting it all together. Yeah. I did the electrical work. She's, it's all signed off. It's great. So then my goal was to showcase great businesses in this great country of ours, doing great things. The mining industry is amazing, you know, and I've personally seen the mining industry be taken advantage of. And I think we need to support, you know, there are sustainable practices in mining. And I want to make sure that these are showcased. You know, businesses that are doing the right thing are showcased. And this is my way. It's, you know, it's a free service. And that's about it for the Gold Room.
I just on the Gold Room, I love the series of podcasts you've done because the spectrum of people that you have had sit in that chair, but also that we get a chance at the start of every episode to learn more about those people and what motivates them and why they're in the industry and it's just that first 10 or 15 minutes is so special.
The life and the times. It's my favourite.
You're opening up the industry from a human perspective.
For sure, because, you know, like everyone just sees, businesses are doing this and everyone thinks, these businesses are making money and these guys are rich. And that's not the case. You know, like there's hard work, grit, determination. You've got to say yes. You know, I speak to, Jason Cable, a great episode. And it's about saying yes. You know, there's challenges everywhere, and you know, the Susie Urbanek says, you know, look through windows, walk through doors. And when I heard that, I was just like, that's some powerful shit. You know, like that's amazing. More people need to develop resilience and that grit, determination, and the only way to do that is by saying yes and. Yeah.
A lot of the time people say there's an overnight success which looks from the outside as overnight, but as you're saying, it's not. It's all of those steps that have led to that point. Yeah.
Shit. Show me someone with an overnight success and I'll tell you right now they're a bloody liar.
So you're obviously professionally very busy and you give back a lot and you're also a dad.
2 beautiful boys, Laken, 11, Tristan, 14.
How good are boys at that age?
They're good.
They're amazing.
They're good. They're testing. They're trialling at every turn.
Mine's in between your 2 ages, so yeah, it's great age, and they're becoming young men.
They are, and they need the best guidance. You know, the best guidance possible, don't they?
They do. And it's also a time, I think, when they're learning who they are and who they are separate from parents as well. So often, you know, a lot of peer influence at that time and things, that are changing for them as well. So it can be tough for parents as well to see that.
Yeah, definitely.
And as parents, I think, you know, part of our job is being the best that we can be for our children, which brings me to my next question around, you know, as parents, you work hard, you're giving back so much, you're a dad. What do you do to look after yourself? And when's the last time you had a proper holiday and a real step back?
I go to the gym, Deb. I try and prioritise my health. I wouldn't say my diet, but certainly I love going to the gym. I try and get to the gym for a 6 till 7. I try and do a sauna after the gym most days.
Have you tried the ice bath?
No, I do. I have tried the ice bath, but I've got a piece of steel, titanium in my foot from an old skateboarding injury when I was young
That
and
wouldn't
useless.
go well.
And no, so it actually feels like that cold is radiating through my foot. So I don't enjoy an ice bath, but love a sauna. What do I do for holidays? No, work. I love working, and I work so hard to instill that in both my children. You know, like I try and get them home early. I take them to the soccer games and do all the sports, and you know we love going to the movies together. And but as far as something for myself, no, not so much.
No, well, and we can all fall into that trap, I think, especially when we enjoy our work. You know, you can.
I love it.
Yeah,
which
is great. You know, we're very blessed, aren't we, that we do. So you haven't had a holiday for quite a period of time.
No, and I know the last few months since mid-May have been at times trialling for me. A few moments that have been distressing for me, and I know what it's like working in the mining industry and being 750 bloody kilometres away from Perth and where your family are, and having to see or make decisions or listen to things that are outside your control. And the only thing you have control of when you're sitting in a bloody little donga, and you know, like so I'm sitting there working most evenings when I'm out visiting clients or you know out working, And so anyway, look, I don't want to go too much into it, but there's been a couple of distressing moments and where I've really had to dig deep.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I made the decision that I needed to do something for myself. I wanted to do something that would test both me mentally and physically. Mm-hmm. I can't fucking do this, though.
You'll be fine.
Sorry.
No, you don't need to apologise.
No apologies.
Yep.
So, Josh, you mentioned earlier about grit and resilience, something I grew up with as well. It was certainly do the best you always can and try your hardest.
Yep.
And a phrase that you and I've used when we've been catching up is putting one foot in front of the other.
I love it.
Firm
believer.
So I know that you're planning a trip and it's a very special trip for you, and it's about resetting yourself, but it's also about challenging yourself. So do you want to maybe...
Yeah, so about a month ago, I made the decision to... I'd spoken about this, wanting to do something really, really difficult. And I thought, what's bloody difficult? What can push myself both mentally and physically? So I looked online and I thought about doing this probably at the beginning of the year, but it was just a thought, Yeah. And then I just jumped online and booked a flight to Nepal, a return flight to Nepal, and I didn't book a trek or anything, and just had it in my mind to walk to Everest Base Camp.
Oh, why not?
Amazing.
And you've been preparing for a long period of time now?
Nah, all my friends are giving me grief about it. They've actually set up a Deadpool. And they're saying, so there's people that are saying, oh, you're going to get day 4 and you'll be helicoptered off the mountain. There's a couple of people like day 6. And there's a couple of really good friends of mine.
There's some bets going, is there?
Yeah, there's some bets. And so I flipped the script on them and I said, listen, it's a dangerous flight into Lukla Airport. I think it's one of the most dangerous airports in the world. Yeah. And I said, my bet's on day 1.
Oh, yeah.
The wind and everything. So who knows, a short little runway.
Someone at the table who's actually done it.
I did in 1999, and it was a gravel runway at that time. Wow. So you've got bitumen, so you're fine.
Lucky. Yeah, so look, maybe I'll pass day 1.
And look, the flying in is okay. It's the flying out I'd be more worried about.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
It's straight off the mountain.
Well, look, I might be helicoptered off the bloody thing.
Well,
I
mean,
who knows?
luxury, it's all right.
Luxury at a bloody cost.
Luxury transport. All right, so let's just go to Nepal. Why not? Yep. We're not going to Fiji to lie by a pool like I would like to do. So
I've got 4 weeks.
Okay.
So in 4 weeks' time, on the 24th of September, I fly out. I fly out of Perth, and then the next day fly to Lukla, and then start the trek. So in answer to your question, Deb, no, I haven't done any training. I did a few weeks ago buy some. I bought some.
Brand new in the box.
Yeah. I bought some hiking boots. So.
They look flash.
They look flash.
They do look flash.
Yeah. So I'm going to chuck those on. So the time of the year in October, it's end of September, October, is a really good time to do the trek. That was one of the things I looked at. So I just think, what a beautiful place to go. Beautiful trek, 130 kilometres. I've bought a oxygen high altitude training mask. It's got 4 different settings.
Has it been out of the packet yet, Josh? No, right, okay.
I'll show you what it is. So it's got 4 settings on it. And what I've got to do, because I've got 4 weeks of training. Yep. So every week I'm going to just change the setting up until the last week. Wow. I don't even know if you can do that you should, maybe. But anyway, it's more of a case of just once again putting one foot in front of another and getting there and doing it. So I felt it was something that I needed to do for me, right? Tough times make tough people, and I believe that. Tough times aren't for everyone, but they've certainly maybe hardened me. I've had nights crying in my room. I've had some tough days. So this is a way of me just pushing my body and mind to the limit, and right out of my comfort zone. So it was a selfish decision at the start. I think so. I know after talking to you ladies, you're like, no, it's actually really good. But I thought to myself, if I'm going to be doing this, what can I be doing for others? That's just
That's who you are. Yeah.
So a Miner's Promise holds a place in my heart, and obviously so does Mission Australia.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to fly in on day one.
Yep.
And while this is a huge challenge for you personally, you're very generously going to be giving back to our two organisations.
Yes.
So I'm going to just ask one question before we talk about the actual what you're endeavouring to do with the fundraising. You mentioned when I asked you about your childhood about asthma and the fact that you've
He's demonstrating it right now.
Yes.
That was very well planned.
Yeah.
I'm just going to, before we talk about, more about the actual process of the walk, what did your mum say when you rang her and told her what you were going to do?
So I'm sending my youngest boy, Lakin, he's going back for a little bit of a holiday to New Zealand on for the school holidays while I'm away. And so when I was talking to my old lady, I said, this is, Lakin's coming back, having a little time in the bush and out on the ocean. And I'm going to hike to Everest Base Camp. And she said, Josh, what about your asthma? Well, what about it? I take a preventer and a reliever and I'll take some prednisone. It's a steroid that I've taken over the years. Yeah. And I know my lungs,
Best advice would be to always climb higher and sleep lower. And they'll do that for the trek with you.
Yeah, there's a couple of acclimatisation days during the trek.
Perfect.
So and look,
use them wisely.
And they've got a pulse oxygen meter that you chuck on your finger throughout the trek. I think they start each day and finish each day with taking down some notes. I think I'm not the full bottle on it. I just booked it and we'll wing it from there.
All right, so you've got 4 weeks of training. Tell us about the actual trek.
So the trek obviously starts in Lukla. My plan is for every tea house that I get to, and I hope I make it all the way to base camp. But what CTL, I've spoken to the team, and what CTL is going to do is at certain stages, certain tea houses, we're going to throw $1,000 into $1,000 at the start once I get to Lukla into the fundraiser. Then we get up to $5,000 for each tea house that I make it to. So I hope that other businesses might get in behind it and show people in the industry that tough times. One foot in front of another is sometimes all it takes, and that's what I'm doing. I'm doing it to show my kids that resilience and no matter how hard things, fuck me. I'm doing it so I can show my children that no matter how hard times get, you just keep putting one foot in front of another.
Absolutely. And take that time for yourself as well. You were saying around some peace and quiet and reflection time, which is really
Anyone
important.
who's spent much time around me knows that there's fuck all peace and quiet. Actually, one of my friends did say this to me, that whoever else is on the trek with me, they're going to fall down because of the lack of oxygen already, and then I'm going to be chatting shit to them, and I'll be pulling all the rest of the oxygen out of the air.
We did not talk at all going up, but as soon as you start to come down, you just have this rush, and we got to know all the Nepalese who are just beautiful people. Yeah. They taught us card games and all sorts. So yeah.
I'm taking a big bloody bunch of the Gold Room. We've got these bucket hats, and I've seen in all these little YouTube videos I've been watching, there's all these kids all the way up, living at high altitude. So I'm just going to start handing out some bloody Gold Room bucket hats and some chocolates. I'm going to take heaps of bloody some New Zealand treats and some Aussie treats and hand them out. Most of my luggage, I actually haven't bought any thermal gear or anything. My plan is to buy that in Nepal. I've got my hiking boots.
Well, you need to wear those in at least for the next 4 weeks.
I'm going to Jacob's Ladder. So if anybody sees me at Jacob's Ladder with the fucking hiking boots
and
on
and a mask
it's
on,
Josh. Yeah, don't be freaked out. It's just a weirdo.
I'm having a mum moment. I'm worrying about you.
No, I'm fine. I've been through some shit. I'll be fine. So anyway, look, as I said, you guys have some amazing charities, and I'm going through every single cent. So no one's getting a cent out of it but you guys. I'm going to split it right down the middle for Mission Australia and for A Miner's Promise.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible. Thank you.
Not a problem. Deb,
Tell
tell me
me to go first? Yeah.
Go tell us about A Miner's Promise.
Miner's Promise, yeah. So
I felt like I was back on the other side.
I know
just
you
then.
did. You had the voice
The
going.
authority was coming
It
through.
was, wasn't it? It was I'm back in charge. So Miner's Promise, we've been around 15 years and we're a charity that supports families across the mining sector through times of trauma, crisis, bereavement, and very sadly after workplace fatalities, so tragedy on sites. And that happens more than we would like. And, you know, we have had fatalities this year across Australia. It's a privilege to be involved in Miner's Promise, and the difference that we make to families in times of trauma, crisis and bereavement is just, it's a gift actually what we do. The team are angels walking this earth, our families have described them as. And it's interesting because people think, you're in mining, you know, you've got a lot of money. You know, either the families have a lot of money or the companies have a lot of money. So why do you need a charity to support families? And it's a real challenge that we have when we're trying to raise funds, because people assume that either the families don't need help because they've got money, or as a charity, surely you've got lots of money because you've got mining in your name. And it doesn't work like that. And what we do for families, yes, we provide financial assistance, but we provide trauma-informed grief counselling. We provide practical support, advocacy, liaison, particularly in times of bereavement. The grief and chaos and confusion that hits families, particularly after a workplace tragedy, you can't describe it. And what we do is come in, wrap around support, give them the space to grieve and process what's happened while we move everything else forward with them, including key advocacy and liaison. It's a privilege to be involved with Miner's Promise. Thank you so much for supporting us through this endeavour, because fundraising for charities is really hard, and we, you know, every dollar that we have, we make sure we use with care, and we're here for the families of mining and FIFO people across Australia.
Yeah, it's beautiful, Deb. As I said to you when I first met you, far out, what an important charity to be a part of, you know. So thank you for all the work that you do.
Thank you.
Elise, what have you got? Mission Australia?
Yes, Mission Australia is a national organisation. We've been around for about 165 years, I think, or over, and we provide services across every state and territory, but in particular in WA we have a service called DAYS, which is a drug and alcohol use service, and we're quite renowned for that service as it's the only one of its kind in WA. And our DAYS service is for young people aged 12 to 25. We have different parts of that service. So the unique part is a DAYS withdrawal unit, and we're very fortunate that we work in partnership with the Next Step, which is part of the East Metropolitan Health Service, where we have doctors and nurses and psychologists on site. The part that Mission Australia play is in the residential component. We have case managers and workers that walk alongside young people that are going through medical detox, so low medical detox, which is a really tough time for young people. It takes a lot of courage for young people to come through the door and to embark on that journey. So we find it as a great privilege to walk alongside young people through that journey. As you can imagine, there's the physical withdrawal, which is tough enough, but then there's also the mental anguish often that comes through. Young people use drugs and alcohol for lots of different reasons, but often there is some trauma that's happening for them. And so drugs and alcohol become a coping mechanism, and when you take that coping mechanism away, you need to replace that with something. So it's great to hear about the walk that you're doing and the way that you have grit and determination, resilience, because that's often what we ask of young people too through that journey, is to find some other mechanism that can help support them, whether that's friends, family, or other activities like getting into exercise or fitness or things like that as well. We also have a residential component, and young people can stay there for up to 3 months. And that's because the recovery journey when you're coming off drugs and alcohol is a long-term journey. And so we recognise that it takes time then to establish those different habits and different support networks that can help you through that journey. We also have what's called a transitional unit. So for some young people, they don't have family support. A lot of young people that come through our day service are homeless because the family relationship has fractured that far that going home isn't an option. And so we have some transitional accommodation where young people can stay for up to a year, where we provide that support as
amazing.
well.
I didn't know that.
That's brilliant.
I didn't know that. It's amazing.
Yeah. And so for us, it's a great privilege to be here and to have this opportunity to talk about the work that we do. We do support parents as well, obviously, through that journey, and recognise that it is a really tough time in terms of for families for that journey. Recovery is not a linear process. And what I feel really privileged about in working with Mission Australia and definitely the team at Days is they are non-judgmental. And not a lot of people say that they're non-judgmental, but what I find is the staff go above and beyond, because it doesn't matter how many times a young person wants to come to Days, they are always welcome with open arms, and we will take up that journey wherever they are, whatever step they want to take. So, I feel
That's
very
amazing.
privileged.
Well, ladies, 2 amazing charities, and I couldn't be prouder to take on this to the bottom of the mountain. Is it?
Yes, I suppose so. In some ways, it's not going to feel like the bottom of a mountain.
Yeah, we want you to go up and down.
Isn't it over 5,000?
5,630.
Yeah.
Is that all?
Above. Well, listen, I don't know what that means. I know that. I
We're
know
at
the height.
0 now, so let's just imagine that.
Yeah.
And you said 130 kilometres,
130 kilometre trek.
but
and-
like that? Yeah.
Well, some parts.
Yeah.
I've been watching. I'll tell you what. I don't think anyone's watched more bloody YouTube than me in the last last month or so, because I've just thought so many times since I booked it. Like, I just booked it. I've been putting money into a little savings account for the boys and I to go in. I love Exmouth. I love Coral Bay is my all-time favourite, and I just thought maybe we do a little road trip up there, and because I love Western Australia, and I wanted to do that, and then one thing led to another, and here I am going to walk this little trek. So I don't know what to expect, but all I'll do is just keep going until I can't or I make it.
Yeah,
You'll make it.
we'll be watching.
We will. So shout out to others in our sector, particularly the mining sector. I know I'm here for Miners Promise, but I'm in the game as well.
Yep.
So we will all be able to follow you online as you're doing it, but we'll also be able to support and contribute.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
There'll be
So
a link.
there'll be a link to the fundraiser.
Yeah.
As I said, people can donate at any old time. They don't have to wait for me to get to Nepal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, certainly keep an eye on it. Put it in your save list or whatever you do.
Yep.
Because CTL Australia is going to put $1,000 in as soon as I get to Lukla, and then every tea house up until 5 tea houses that we stay in on the way up. So yeah, I'm proud to do my bit, because I firmly believe in this amazing industry and your charities.
Well, all the
done,
best.
Josh.
First of all, with the preparation over the next 4 weeks. I'm going to be checking in because I'm doing a mum now. I'm worried about you. So I'll be your WA mum, worrying about your feet and your mask.
Yeah.
So all the best for the next 4
Thank
weeks.
you very much.
And really enjoy the trip. And I know you will. And I think it's, you're going to love it. And we'll be watching as you go.
Thank you.
All the very, very best.
Yeah, thanks. Your support means a lot.
And we'll maybe we should do another get together when you get back.
Oh,
Maybe.
amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Actually,
let's
will
do that. Let's
we'll
do another
organise that,
get-together.
Dimitri. We'll talk about
And talk about
the great businesses that are going to get in and support this. And
Yes,
I know that,
let's do that.
the team at Mega Resources, they're doing a bloody great job out there in the industry, and they support us. And I'm sure that they'll get in as one of the mining businesses.
Well, let's celebrate everyone that supported you.
For sure, we will.
Celebrate and also hear from you how it all went.
Yeah.
We look forward to it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, a little debrief, mining debrief.
Yes.
Awesome,
Everest
ladies. Well,
debrief.
thank you very much for coming in and spending the time with me.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
your
Josh.
support.
Not a problem.
All right, so to close this out, I've been asked to channel my inner Josh Collins, which is a bit of a scary thought, but thank you for tuning into another episode of the Gold Room podcast. Like and subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you next time.